Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful morning here in the woods, and I thought it'd be a great day to test drive my new wood stove. Yes, Santa was really good to me this year, and I got a wood stove for my canvas wall tent. So it's a lot safer than what I had before. I made one out of brand new paint cans, and you guys remember that from last season's videos. So with that one, I didn't feel as safe overnight leaving it running. There's some issues with it, some sparks kind of coming out of the piping for the stack, and also I found that there's some deformity as the pipes were coming out of the stove, and so there was some issues there with safety. So I was extremely thankful to get a wood stove this Christmas. So without further ado, let's give it its first burn. So as you can see, it's right here in this bag. Let's just take it out and take a look. There it is. Beautiful, nice glass door at the front, so you can see it. Solid stainless steel construction. This top plate here is aluminum. So let's extend the legs. So you'll see there's some legs at the bottom here. Let's extend those out to get this all set up. Pop these out, very easy. Pop them like that. And then like that. So right off the bat, way sturdier than my paint can model. All right, let's take a look as we open up the top of the stove. So we take this plate off. This is the aluminum cooking plate. And all the stove pipes are in here. Basically everything fits in this unit. I just forgot to put that one plate back in there. So you just take these out. You can see these tubes right here. Pretty small stack that's going to come out of this stove. That's pretty ingenious how they put it together. So let's get all these out. To get the last piece out, that's the part that actually comes directly out of the stove, you need to open the door because it's in there pretty tightly. So this is a really neat door handle. So boop, you pop that out and out it comes. So here's a piece I showed you earlier, and this is the bottom plate of the stove. The arrow points that way towards where the piping will come out. So this one goes in again through the front door. So here's the front door. The plate is in, and this is the little tray here that collects, your ashes at the end of the day. This also regulates a bit of the draft. So if you want more oxygen, you open it up. If you don't, you close it down because there's no damper included with this unit. So this is the first pipe here. It goes directly into the unit and it sort of rests like that. Perfect. You have a couple of different size tubing, sort of a smaller one and a larger one. They just nest together, which is really ingenious. So just goes down like that. You can make this as tall as you want. Lots of pieces here. I'm just going to kind of go up like that. And you just kind of keep going. That's a small one. So when you run out of big tubes, this one here is an adapter. It just goes on like that. I don't think I need to make it super tall, so I'm going to put these aside. And this is the spark arrestor right here. That's a spark arrestor right there. And there's the view. Like I said, I could put more tubing if I had a huge canvas tent. I don't, so we're just going to do that. Nice thing with this kit is that it comes with gloves and tongs for your wood. So to cook with it, I should let you guys know it has a couple of wings right here. There we go. Isn't that great? And then there's the lid. Making a few feather sticks here to get us going. Got my birch bark and some balsam tinder. Lots of kindling in there now. And of course I've got a box of wood there, and I've also got more wood off screen there. Really is important to do that first burn just to get rid of any sort of noxious fumes or things like that. You do not want to have that when you're out in the woods for the first time having a magical experience in your canvas tent. You want to smell that yuck from the factory coatings from the wood stove. We're almost ready, and then we're gonna make some breakfast. All right, so it's going really well. Just gonna close the door. Need to let some more oxygen in while we get this going. And there it is. Stack is really a little bit noodly, so you're gonna have to have some way of supporting this. Certainly if it's in your tent, it's gonna be supported by the fabric as it's going out, but you might need some supporting poles so it won't tip over. As this warms up, I was able to move this little tab out to push the stack to make it a little bit more stable. But I'm gonna have to figure out a way to secure this stack so it doesn't fall down. But that's what that little tab is for, I'm thinking. Now as this heats up, really important, this is aluminum right here, so that can actually deform. So I'm going to want to put my cast iron pan on there and begin some cooking. First burn, they do recommend that you put something heavy on the top so you don't deform this aluminum plate. Let me tell you, there's a lot of square footage here. That's a huge cast iron pan. It got hot pretty darn quick, and I've got my kettle on the back. So just making some potatoes and some eggs this morning. It's going pretty well in there. This actually would be the size it would be right for the cabin. Now this stove is not completely airtight, so I'd be a bit nervous about using it in a cabin, but certainly it's perfect for my canvas wall tent. That's not airtight. You know, there's not a lot of odor coming off of this wood stove with the first burn, which is nice. You gotta be really careful, like, some stovepipes, people make them homemade and it's galvanized, and that's really bad. Those gases aren't very good for you to smell as you're burning them off. My little paint can stove, I had it painted with a high temperature paint, and of course, as you burn that, it really, really stinks. So it's actually really nice that I'm not getting a really bad stench off of this stove. I tried with my paint can stove, but I ended up having to put like a muff pot on there to try to cook my food, and I really did get the surface area to cook my food. So it's a really nice stove. So in order to get things really hot, I opened up the drawer here so I can cook even a little faster. Close that down. It's going to turn the temperature down, so that's nice. I can kind of regulate the temperature up here as well. To cook my food so I don't burn it. My other stove, I was like undercooking everything, and I was freaked out that I would actually instantly burn stuff, but it appears that I can control this really nicely, so that's a bonus. So look up here at the stack at the top there by the spark arrestor, and we've really got it going, and it looks like there's pretty complete combustion going on there. Not a lot of black smoke coming out of there. It burns really nicely, a smokeless fire. Well, breakfast is looking really good and almost done, and stove's looking awesome as well. I love eating outdoors. This is going to be awesome. I cannot wait to take this winter camping. It's going to happen really soon, guys, so stay tuned. Oh, my water's getting nice and warm for my tea there too. This is great. Breakfast is ready. These trays, guys, they don't get too hot. It's just a way that I can touch this. It's just slightly warm. So you can just sort of take things off the stove as you wish, or maybe dry some socks or something. Well, I forgot my fork, so I'm using a stick. Good. Done to perfection. Nature's chopsticks. Well, I must say it is kicking off a decent amount of heat. So when it's enclosed in the tent, I'm really looking forward to the heat coming off the pipe as well as off the stove. You might be able to appreciate that the tray is deforming a little bit in there, and that's most likely due to just, the heat, and it's a thin piece of metal. And they warn you about this too in the instruction manual, that you may just have to, bend the sides in a little bit if it gets a bit sticky. So not a big deal. Really worked to put that heavy cast iron pan on top of the stove. It does not appear to have caused, there's no deformity of the cooking surface there. And it also appears a little bit of warping here on one of the side wings. It's hard to kind of get them out and put them down right at this point, so we have to wait till the metal cools down when we're done the burn so that things go back into shape. And you can always bend these thin pieces of metal back into place. Earlier, the wood was chopped up into manageable pieces for the wood stove. Got lots for just at least get a start on the winter camping season. Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect. So I do have to modify the canvas wall tent yet again and put a hole through the ceiling so that the piping will fit. That's not a big deal. On the front door I have a hole for my old stove, but it also acts as a window or a pass-through, so it's not really going to make it look ugly to kind of put another hole through the top. And I'll put like a really wide fiberglass sleeve through there, just so that when if it rains or something like that, it's not going to kind of go directly in the seam, and we're going to have a really wide safe area for the pipe to go through. Well, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the stove, getting its first burn in, and I cannot wait to get outside and use it in the tent. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments, and happy winter camping. See you in the next video. Take care.